Oh my days, what is this?
That gonna be like, you didn't achieve that.
Yum yum. Was not great.
Hi, it's Dwayne Squires here, and this is the first episode of Dwayne's Development Diary. So you may be thinking, who the are you, Dwayne? Because I might have interrupted your feed, or you might have just seen me randomly, seeing this guy randomly doing a video and thought, okay, let's see what this guy is all about. So my name is Dwayne Squires. You probably got that from the introduction. Business-wise, I do a mix of property sourcing. So what is property sourcing? You'll see it now. It's effectively like being an estate agent. So what would an estate agent do? They represent the seller in order for them to sell their house to a willing buyer. But a property is also actually similar to a property finance. So very similar to an estate agent, but flip side, they're seen as representing the buyer. What we do, we effectively sit in the middle between the vendor who wants to sell, then you've got the buyer and us. So we'll just connect the two. But the key thing is to make sure you're looking after the seller, giving them a great service, making sure you're not forcing a solution down, but actually you give them an array of options that work for them based upon their situation, be it selling it at a discount, be it creative finance. Just make sure the vendor is right at the heart of the solution. And similar with the buyer, making sure you look after your buyers, because both vendors and buyers are the heart of the whole business. We have many times where maybe every year 20-30% of the same buyers and vendors come back to sell more. And that's where the business has grown into where I first started at university with literally a loan from my sister for £1,000 and a loan from my wife, then my girlfriend for £1,000, and turned it into a six-figure plus business. And then I also provide a property management guaranteed rent service to landlords in Coventry. Don't know what guaranteed rent is? Don't know what rent to rent is? Watch this. So guaranteed rent to rent model. So you might have heard this, and there seems to be loads of videos of people doing it and teaching it and finding ways. But actually, I got into it in 2015 by providing those solutions to other investors and buyers. And then it was 2019 where then I bought a company that provided rent to rent, guaranteed rent in Coventry, and grew it. And how does the model work? There's three parties to it. You've got the landlord, you've got us again, and you've got the tenant. So really it's a great solution for all parties. With the landlord, we take their properties, we refurbish it, make it really look really nice, because these are landlords where maybe their properties have been empty for maybe 3-4 months, if not longer. They might also be a tired landlord who've already had a negative experience of agents over the years. There's a lot of times where we even had a case where one of our recent landlords, he came on, he was really hesitant, is because he had been let down by another rent-to-rent guaranteed rent company, where actually they owed him thousands and thousands of pounds. But we built up the trust, we took the property on, and now he's given us multiple properties. So it works for landlords. With tenants, we're effectively improving the stock of properties on the market. I've seen over the years how the tenant profile, the expectations have changed. Going from, your typical beige rooms to now wanting really nice, warm, really modern, good-looking properties and rooms to stay. So it benefits the tenant, an affordable rent, and a place where they can call home. And us, we take a small margin in between for taking the risk of guaranteeing the rent to a landlord, and then looking to provide an adequate tenant to rent the house or rent room by room. And as of this year, I started to get my feet wet in serviced accommodation. So what is serviced accommodation? What's this?
It's effectively providing a fully serviced, furnished accommodation, and that could be an apartment, a house, or a single room where someone can stay as short as one night to much longer than that. So this is my most recent serviced accommodation venture, which is an 11-bed property in the northeast, primarily focused on contractor market, providing an array of exclusive services for them. Now, it was originally meant to be launched in 2020, but in fact, due to restrictions, we actually launched it in middle of 2021. If you ever want me to create a video around this, feel free to comment below, and I'm happy to share more about it.
And as I mentioned before, I've got other holdings outside of property, and that is in agriculture on the continent of Africa, principally Ghana. So predominantly in the Brong-Ahafo region, and then I've also got a small holding in Uganda. The purpose of this channel is principally several things. And really it's personal to me, because I actually want to do videos where my children, my children's children, my close family will see it and be able to just follow along. You remember back in the day before we had all this multimedia and video and internet, it was principally just writing down a diary and sharing your tales with your family. Well, I'm hoping that maybe 50 years, 100 years from now, my grandchildren, my children will see it and think they'll know a bit more about myself and my journey, the ups and downs. And as a result, when they see me being an old little man, they'll be like, oh, actually, he used to have a bit of energy. He used to have a bit about him, rather than just the granddad that sits on the sofa. And then also for you, just to actually show you the inside, behind the scenes of how a property business works. Now, I can't say I'm a multi-billion pound business owner with several thousands of holdings, just a small, medium-sized enterprise, but with a clear vision to grow. So I thought I would share the behind the scenes, and you can see me grow from, as you'll see over the journeys where I am now, from multi-six figures to much higher than that. But there's a clear path I want to follow, and that's really one of the big reasons for me to do these videos. It's not only for my family to see, it's not only to share the videos with others and see the behind the scenes, but actually the next phase in my property journey is actually to do property development. So I know all about sourcing, I know about buying flips, refurbishing, but actually taking land or taking a property and actually renovating that into a brand new house, or changing it from a commercial property, so it could be an old shop, into a residential accommodation, is something that I'm new to. It takes a bit more than just being able to negotiate a good deal and refurbishing. There's a longer time frame. So if you're buying land and you're developing, it could take from between 18 to 24 months before you even start selling the house, because when you consider planning permission, building out, financing, etc., it could take 2 years. And in doing so, there's a lot more that's involved. There's going to be a lot of development, mindset-wise, strategy-wise, the business model. I'm expecting that over the next 2, 3, 4 years and more, there's going to be a lot more that I'm going to have to learn, grow. There's going to be some downs, there's going to be some ups, and there's going to be some success. And I'm hoping to share that with you, my family, and the rest of the community. And ultimately, by me doing all these videos, by you knowing the journey I'm going on, by you seeing what the business is like from the inside, you're going to be holding me accountable. I'm going to be held accountable to what my goals are, for what I'm aiming to do, for what I'm trying to achieve, and much more. That's going to be scary, because it's so easy to get into a place where you set these goals, you achieve it, you might underachieve it, but you're going to have other people supporting you, you're going to have naysayers, you're going to have others that are going to be like, you didn't achieve that. Having these videos are going to really hold me accountable to achieve what I set out to do. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a bit anxious, it's going to be a bit nervous, just in case I don't achieve it, but it's a journey. My plan is not to do anything but just share great value, share great content, and in doing so, just learning in the process as well. So that's a quick introduction of me, what my businesses are at the moment, what I'm aiming to achieve, where I'm aiming to go. But as you follow along in the episodes, you're going to learn a lot more. You're going to see some behind the scenes, you're going to see it in its non-packaged up marketing, you're going to see right behind the scenes. See me negotiating, see me planning, see me with my team members, see me grow. So I'm expecting, as I look back in the next 5 years, 10 years, it's going to be interesting content. And one thing I'm going to be getting used to is actually listening to my own voice. You probably know from your own experience that listening to your own voice is, oh man, it can be a bit unnerving, it could be a bit different. So it's going to be something I'll be getting used to, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. If there's any questions, post it in the comments. If there's anything you want me to share, please do. But I'm expecting only one person watch this video, and that would be good, because I'm just trying to refine and learn how you even do this YouTube thing. It's not... Hi there. Is there a convenient time to speak? It's Dwayne Squires here. You can see it was, as you explained, it was a recently renovated property, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you buy it renovated? Just out of interest, did you buy it out in renovated, or did you renovate it yourself?
So I bought it renovated.
Brilliant. I see there's a living room. Is there is a kitchen, or is it an open plan kitchen diner?
It's sort of like an open plan living room, kitchen dining, yeah.
When we spoke, you said the property's vacant at present, and I think you said previously you were making, was it 2,300 or something like that? Later, would you plan to, if we can't come to an agreement, or would you planning to then manage it yourself, or using a letting agent?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Probably still have it managed, most probably. Yeah. Like I mentioned previously, I'm just quite busy.
Yeah.
And as much as the burden I can sort of get off my own shoulders,
Yes.
the better.
Obviously, you're a very busy person, so having that kind of passive way of generating money on the properties is beneficial.
From a landlord's perspective and someone who's actually invested
Yeah.
in this property, jobs to make a return on this property.
Yeah.
If the market is going to be constantly declining over the next few years,
Yeah.
then obviously my returns are a lot lower.
Yeah.
And what I need to think is, do I actually want to keep the property?
The gap in the market is good quality properties that have good sizes and are priced affordably.
So where do we go from here then?
Yeah, so I just wanted, because I know you're an Oxford show, so typically what I'd like to see the property, but I'd want to make sure it's worth your time and worth our time.
With me, when I get to business, I don't just think about the deal, I think about the person who I'm actually doing the business with, and I genuinely feel like going into business with you with this particular property, it would be like, that's the feeling, that's my gut feeling, that's what I'm getting from them.
Yeah, that's well. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
I guess the next thing is sort of just try and arrange a time where we can both go off and you can have a look at the property as well.
Let me just put it in my diary. Yeah. Okay, 1 o'clock's good. But I think if we could come to agreement, we may be looking to start maybe a couple of weeks after that, if that works for you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. That's perfect. That'll be brilliant.
That was a quick recording of a phone call I had with a prospective landlord who's interested in taking our offer of a guaranteed rent. His property is a 5-bed property, 2 en-suites, 3 standard rooms that share a bathroom. The notion that a lot of people say is, all en-suites, all en-suites. I think that's definitely a great way to do it, but if you want to kind of have a plan B, and I always recommend have a plan B, is have a number of en-suites and try and keep the ratio of rooms to bathrooms to a maximum of 2 or 3, even if you don't have en-suite. So if it's a 6-bed, try and have 3 bathrooms. If it's a 4-bed, try and have 2, because then that means each room is only sharing 1 bathroom. That was a recording that went on for quite a while, built a lot of rapport. What was demonstrated by both myself as well as that landlord is a lot of integrity, understanding of the working relationship, seeing it as a partnership. One thing I realized with business as well as when you're doing guaranteed rent is people trusting you with their property, and you need to fulfill that. But also you're giving them a solution. So this landlord, he's actually based in Oxfordshire, so it's 2 to 3 miles away, very far as you can imagine. He doesn't want to get called out. He's got a rent, he's got a corporate job, hugely busy. He's buying a property for the capital appreciation as well as some passive income. So he just wants to trust someone to get on, manage the property, give him a guaranteed rent, and be able to just move on to buying more property. So that's a solution that we will provide. And when we look at the numbers, we're probably £100 or £150 difference. Now this is a brand new property, effectively only 12 months old, as you might have known from the phone call. So it doesn't need much. It needs a bit of investment in terms of just maybe some liquor paint to upgrade it and a few changes to furnishings. And the landlords are willing to work with us to give us time and to give us a rate that could work. So it could be a good positive outcome. I'm sure I'll share more, but the key thing is we don't chase business. We get loads of offers, loads of inquiries every week, but the key thing is a good property, a price that works for us as well as the landlord, and to ultimately work with landlords that are good, that see it as a partnership, and where we can see a strong future going forward.
Now I created like a proper arrow for Canva. So it's gonna show everywhere, whatever user, Mac, Lenovo, whatever this is, it.
Good.
Getting the investors up to date, and there was a lot of sales progression, which I hope.
It's done very well actually, because there's been some, all sorts of complicated issues we've had to deal with, and to be honest, they dealt with them very well. So we're moving forward with them.
We've got so many investors, we can't feel the demand. So is usually we look at like a 90-day framework, which you've probably experienced before. But this time, between now to the end of 2021, so we've got absolute clarity over like the major things that need to be done between now and then.
So today is a new day, and we're going to be focusing today just on admin tasks and processes. So it's that time of the month, so twice a month I always look to complete a reconciliation of all rents across my portfolio, as well as our lettings, twice a month, just to make sure we're on top of things. I know I should have a system in place that automates it, but coming from a numbers background, I always like to print it off, do the checks and balances myself, then give the details to the team to chase up the rents. Fortunately, across since COVID, we've probably only really had one or two major cases across the amount of rooms that we've got and properties we've got of delayed rent, which for me is a blessing. It's been really good in that sense. So reconciliations, deposit registrations. If you don't know, you always need to register it within 30 days. So always, again, twice a month, all deposits that we receive for new properties reserved, register that within 30 days. And then once that's completed, there's some processes I need to update an SOP. So SOPs being single operating procedures, and get on top of that. There's some changes so that I can reduce the workload of me, offload it to some new team member who's got greater skill, patience and detail than I have in that specific task, and that will free me up to focus on what I need to focus on, which is the strategy and key operational decisions. So watch along, probably a bit boring, but hey, maybe you'll find some value in it.
Done. But when you do something so boring and tedious, although it's really important, it just feels like you've conquered the world. So hugely important. The most important thing in terms of managing cash flow, although sometimes, as I explained, it can be super duper tedious. So let's crack on with the rest of the day. So just about to head off to Coventry today
The key purpose is I'm running a number of errands just to check up on the properties, sort out a few little details here and there. I always look to try and get to Coventry around 1 day a week. So typically either a Tuesday or Wednesday. And the main purpose there is to just check up on things, make sure things are going well. Now, particularly today, I'll be checking up on our house where we've got one room that's become available. This is a long-term tenant that was with us since 2015, yeah. So I'm proud that we had a tenant for that long. It shows that we obviously offered a really good service. Because of personal situations, they moved on. Now that room's become available. If you could just imagine the decor that was in that property before was not great compared to what we're doing now. So previously in that property, it was like purples, greens, you know, just really dated colors, and the actual tonality of the colors were like, you know, 20 years old. So I'm gonna go down there, check the room out, and then when I get there, I'll talk you through what we're gonna look to do. So first look. Oh my days, what is this? Woo! This is messy. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, we've got loads of dust around. You can see loads of mess as well. Oh man. It's not what I expected. Yeah. So after that shock of coming in, I've taken a few minutes to look around the place and what we're gonna do with the room. This purple reminds me of Soul Plane. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Soul Plane. That's what it reminds me of. There's just something about it, but that has to go. Someone, if you think it's a different type of purple, if you think it's more lavender, or if you like it and you'd keep it, let me know. But for me, that has to go. The artwork will go. Then you've got this wooden cabinet storage unit. That is gonna go as well. So this is actually movable. This is very good quality, but it's not very usable. You can see there's all these shelves down here as well. And it's very similar on that side. Now, if it was a student property, then it would work well. However, it's a professional let, so that all has to go. This unit's gonna go. And what we're going to use, we're going to reuse this furniture. This furniture is still selling on IKEA, it's very good quality. And what we'll do is just move it around and create some more space. When you walk in, if I can show you, you walk in and the first thing you're going to see is this wardrobe. Then you've got the bedside cabinet, which is there, and a chest of drawers. And then you're going to see the bed and you see this big unit. It makes you feel claustrophobic, it makes it feel very small. So we just have to change it up and relay it. And what we're gonna do is get rid of that. Obviously we're gonna have to definitely change the table. You can see, look at this. Yum, yum. Right, get rid of that. And what we're then gonna do is move this wardrobe over that side, put a bedside table over there, put some all new colors in, and then we might just put the desk or a new desk here and maybe do something along that wall as well. And what that would do is create some nice flow. You're not then going to be interrupted by this in the way, this in the way, and this big item. It's going to look much more airy, much more simplified, much more in line with how professionals want to live in today's market. There's an appetite for property. There's always buying for the right price.
You'll see that magic, real magic.